So what is this passion thing ba? Diba? What is this thing? Why is it so popular? Passion is an emotion. It defines an emotion, di ba? I am passionate about. And it has an object. I'm passionate about something. It's an action, di ba? It's an action. It's something you do, di ba? And something you do gives you that emotion. It's something you like. It's something you do. It's something you do for your own sake. Simon Sinek says, we shouldn't even be talking about passion because you know it, diba? You should know it. It's the stuff you do. It's the stuff you do for free. It's the stuff you do when you do and people pay you. You say, I'm so lucky I'm getting paid for this. I can't believe they're paying me to do something like this, diba? It's the stuff you'll sacrifice for, the stuff na you spend hours doing and you didn't know where the time went, diba? And somehow, you spent so much energy but you're not tired. In fact, you're high, diba? And that's what you're passionate about, diba? I think sometimes we mistake the idea of passion with the feeling. I'm looking for the feeling. Kasi if the feeling is there, then the action is there, diba? So hinanap natin yung feeling, but it's not the action, diba? So it's really the action. It's the thing we do. It's the thing we like to do so much. And it's if you think about it, when you say the sentence, I'm passionate about, it's directed towards something. It's not in the present. I'm passionate about doing blank. Parang I like to call it the already but the not yet. The already but the not yet. It feels like it's already there by talking about it. I get excited, I get energized, but it's not yet there. Because I'm not doing it. Diba? You don't say, wow, I'm so happy doing what you say, I'm so happy doing this. You don't say, I'm so passionate about doing this. Hindi, passionate is future, diba? So it's directed towards something that's not yet there because you're not doing it or you're not doing it full time or you wish you could do more of it, diba? It's not yet there, but it's already there already kasi you're saying you get excited by it, diba? I think that's the other thing when you talk about passion. It excites you and energizes you. It gives you so much energy even without external results, but it scares you and paralyzes you at the same time. It scares you, diba? What if this thing takes over my life? It's not practical. It's not practical. I don't know how I'll make money. Will my parents be proud of me? What will my high school classmates say mag-reunion kami? Diba? I have a business. I have Ikaw, what do you have? I have passion. Excites you and energizes you, paralyzes you, and scares you at the same time. If there's something like that, baka that's something you're passionate about. We have many passions. We don't just have one. There's no one big passion. See, Randy Commissar, a venture capitalist and an author, says that's one of the things that scares us when we talk about passion. We think we need to look for the one big passion, that one big thing that ties everything together, that will make life okay, that will give me my success, and the success is an overnight success. Sabi niya, it doesn't happen that way. We have many passions, diba? We have many things we like doing that energize us, diba? So what are those things? And those things happen on the inside, diba? Those are yours, and those are unique. Believe it or not, we share a lot of the same passions, but the journey of your life has given you that for some strange reason. The journey of your life has given you these things that you're good at doing, that you like doing, that you get motivated at doing. How do we get to that answer, diba? What am I passionate about? Where did it come from? What can I do about it? What will I do with my life? And the answer is, listening to the story of your life, of our lives, helps us with the question of passion and purpose. Because passion is meant for something. It's not just for its own sake. And looking at the story of your life helps reveal that. And no matter where you are, I think this helps. This helps. Either you're asking, what am I passionate about? How do I know if it's true? What can I do about it? Or you're doing something already. I started. Eto na ba yun? Why does life still feel ordinary? Why is life still a daily thing I have to do and figure out? Or you're already at that stage of, yeah, I figured it out. This is working. How can I do more? Wherever you are, looking at the story of your life helps. And what we'll do is we'll use the framework of the hero's journey. Have you guys heard of the hero's journey before? Yeah, sometimes in school, sometimes in... Anyway, the hero's journey is the outline of every story in the world, of every movie, of every fable, and it was done by Joseph Campbell in his book called The Hero Has a Thousand Faces. He basically studied every myth, every story, every movie, and said, you know, there's only one outline, and it's the outline of the hero's journey. And he goes, this happens, and how did this happen? It's not because everybody thought the same thing, because he goes, the outline is in us, diba? The outline happens to us. That's why we're able to write it and see it on the outside. And he says, the life's journey happens over this storyline, the hero's journey. And we will go through it at several times in our life. You might have gone through one already, you might be on one, you might be starting one. It doesn't matter because the outline is the same. For the nerds in the room, there's 13 stages, 13 chapters, but we'll compress it to 6. And try to make it a little easier for you guys. As I tell the outline, I encourage you to look at your own life story, diba? Where do I see myself here? And there's really no right or wrong answer. Whatever makes sense to you, diba? The Jesuits always said, tantum quantum, use whatever you hear insofar as it helps you move forward. So whatever you hear today that feels good, or at the same time feels disturbing, just sit with it for a while, diba? Allow yourself to ask yourself questions. Chapter 1. First stage of the hero's journey is status quo and call to adventure. Every hero, everybody starts off with this, status quo. And it's normally described as a boring, ordinary life, diba? How do you describe it? Parang a life that's okay lang. People tend to follow what society requires of them. They live in society's expectations, but they feel like it's not enough. Diba? In our storylines, I have 2 daughters, so I watch a lot of Disney princesses. Every Disney princess goes through this. Moana, she is called by the sea and she does not know why. Diba? Belle hopes to have something more than this provincial life. Ariel wants to be part of somebody else's world. Mulan asks herself, who am I and therefore what am I supposed to do? Diba? Every Disney princess starts like this. Life is okay, but it's not enough. Diba? Of course, you have the Marvel superheroes then, diba? You have Tony Stark. Hey, life is great. Talaga bang great? Talagang masaya ka when the cars are new and he's always distracting himself with the next great gadget or the next great car or the next beautiful date. Masaya ka, diba? There's always something more we're looking for. Often at this stage, parang when you start listening to what you really want to do, to stuff you're passionate about, the first reaction is denial. No, not me. Can't be me. Disbelief. No, parang, I'm too small. I'm too small, the problem is so big, the passion is too large, the task is so big, it can't be me because I'm just like this. Denial, disbelief, even rejection. No, I don't like. I don't like. I don't want to listen to this. Diba? Get into service, start a business, quit my job. Diba? Do something that my other college batchmates, what my parents don't want me to do. No, I don't like. It doesn't work for me. It shouldn't be this way. Yet, there is something that keeps on bugging you. If you're at this stage, what is the task? The task is not clarity, diba? The task is not to get clear. It's not to determine what you're supposed to do. If you're feeling disturbance, there's a need for some honest listening to yourself. Kasi it's only you who can tell what's right and wrong, diba? What works, what doesn't work. Do you really like where you are? Diba? Is what you're doing worth it? Diba? So the task here is to listen to yourself. Diba? Allow the disturbance to disturb you. Honestly, you can reject it. You can say no, you can shut it down. The more you reject it, it will just keep on coming back. Diba? It's not really stage 2, it's part of stage 1. You meet mentors and gurus along the way, diba? I'm a big Star Wars geek, so Luke meets Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda. Harry meets Dumbledore. Moana realizes something with her grandmother. Belle meets magical creatures. Ariel is guided by her Sebastian and her friends. Sino pa? Cinderella and the birds and the mice and the fairies and the mouses, diba? Lahat sila. You learn mentors and gurus, parang along the way we meet people who help us interpret the signs. Harry, that's why your scar hurts, because you're connected to Voldemort, diba? Tony Stark meets a kind doctor who gives his life for him and says, make your life count. And it shocks him, diba? Oh, life is meant to be lived differently. The task here is interpretation of signs, diba? What are the signs, not outside of yourself, but inside of yourself? Oh, having said this, when you're on the journey, you will see signs. Bakit yung billboard ganito? Bakit ganito yung mga libro nakikita ko? Bakit ganito mga Instagram posts yung nakikita ko? If that's happening to you, it's good to listen. So, interpret the signs and the signs inside of you. What are they telling you about what you're happy about and really happy about? Diba? What makes you happy and what really makes you happy. And that's really just some honest self-reflection. How do you know if calls are real? If you receive a phone call giving you your hopes and dreams, then it's probably real, diba? But if you don't, how do you know if things are real? Because they keep on coming back. So, are these things you're passionate about? Do they keep on coming back, diba? You put them on hold. No, I need to be practical for now. But they keep on coming back. So next stage is crossing the threshold and the departure. You cross the door, leave your old world into a new world. Neo needs to drink a red pill and moves from the fake world into the real world. Ariel gets legs and moves from the water to land. Belle goes into the Beast Castle from an ordinary world. Suddenly, it's a magical place. Diba? Moana leaves her actual island and goes off an adventure. Katniss Everdeen gets on a train and goes to the city. So lahat, diba? Everybody goes through this, leaving this old world behind and going into this new magical realm. But doing something is not automatic. Diba? You still have to make that decision. Sometimes it's dramatic, leap of faith. I don't know what's going to happen, but go. Sometimes it's small and simple. Somebody said, I don't know what I'm really passionate about, but I know the present doesn't work for me. And there's something that seems to be calling me now to this. Why don't I explore that? Curiosity lang. Try lang ako. Try lang. Hindi pa to forever. Hindi pa to commitment. Hindi pa to, this will define the success and the legacy of my life. Hindi pa siyang ganun. Try lang, diba? That's what the stage is asking you to do. Can you open this door and walk through it and see what that new world has to offer? I have students who sort of see this, diba? This is what I want to do. This is what I'm doing. I need to move to this. And they make business plans. They make models. They make financial models. And I ask him, so do the numbers help you jump? They go, no. And he goes, sir, kasi ganito, I'm not meeting the ROI, I'm not meeting my expectations. But do you have that information? No. So what do you think you need to do to get the information? To try it. So why don't you try it? Sir, kasi hindi sure. Yeah. Diba? It's that cycle of, how am I sure? What if I fail? What if I'm embarrassed? What if I have to go back? Diba? But the decision has to be made, either dramatic or not. Try it or you don't. Diba? Try it or you don't. What's the task here? Leaps of faith are not yet about commitment and determination. They are about a simple decision to just try. To just try. Parang it's hard to decide about forever if you don't see it yet, right? So why imagine forever? Just imagine the present. Diba? What is this chapter asking me to do? And just try. It's relatively easy to move from a bad versus good decision. And this is bad for me, eh. I know it, eh. Look for what's good. The harder question is good versus better. I'm good na now. there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing and I can be okay. And honestly, life can be like that, diba? You can decide to be okay. But if there's something bugging you about what can be better, but what if, diba? What if I can do more? What if I can do more of this? What if this thing I want to do affects other people? And what if I get paid for it? What if, diba? And it excites you and challenges you. Then that's a difficult decision. It's a good versus better decision. Good versus bad is easy. Good versus better is harder. Either way, a decision has to be made. There's a breaking from the past and going forward. Once you go through the door, the challenges happen. Tony Stark suddenly gets attacked. He creates a new suit, figures out the capabilities of the suit. It can fly this far, it can go this fast. I need to tweak this color. So there are challenges, and the challenges of the adventure are the ones that teach us skills, diba? Skills. Can I plan? Can I organize? Can I recruit? Can I sell? Can I make the product? Will somebody buy it? How much? How do I grow this? Can I try this job? Shifting careers. Can I try this? Diba? What do I know? What do I need to learn? Diba? And the challenges are the ones that are sharpening the saw, are sharpening the skill. What's the skill here? Diba? What's the skill? What's the task at this point? We start moving from here to here. To make things real, this is when passion meets the pavement, diba? To make things real, you have to move from heart to habit, from why to how. Move the passion into habit. Do something every day that moves you forward. Athletes are like that. Talk to any athlete, runner, triathlete. They won't tell you they like training every day. Diba? That's a classic example. Oh, my body hurts. I don't want to anymore. But my goal is larger than my present, so I will do something in the present to reach my goal. You ask an entrepreneur, it's like that. My revenue target is this many millions this month. I'm so far from my revenue target. What can I do today to move that forward? And it doesn't have to feel good. It doesn't have to feel good. It becomes habit. It becomes discipline. It's about putting in the daily work every day because of a cause larger than yourself. There are moments when you need to tap into that why. I'm tired. Why am I doing this ba? Go back to your why. Why am I doing this? Why am I trying this? Sometimes it's frustrating, diba? I don't know how to do this. So in entrepreneurship, as in life, the big mantra is fail fast and fail forward. Diba? There's no such thing as failure, only learning. Only learning. Diba? This didn't work. O, di iba naman. At least I know this doesn't work. This solution doesn't work. They try something new. They just keep on doing that until you find the one that breaks, diba? Yan, that's discipline. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good. You gotta let go of passion projects and dream. I thought this product would be it. Hindi pala, diba? Unfortunately, or fortunately, parang every challenge, in the stories, diba, the challenges get bigger. The challenges get bigger. Or in video games, diba? Video games, they get you're always getting tested. Or you learn this skill, or we'll do this skill, and then you combine the skills, and then this other skill. It gets harder and harder until you reach the boss level, the biggest, baddest opponent in the game, diba? Sina Joseph Campbell says, you will eventually meet your dragons that you will have to face and that you will have to slay. The biggest, scariest thing that you will have to face. And they say the dragon is a reflection of your greatest fears. Diba? What are your greatest fears? Because you will face them. Diba? Is it a fear of failure? Fear of embarrassment? Fear of not being good enough? Fear of the world being larger than you, being smaller and smaller? Diba? Whatever your fears are, you will face them if you're on the road to the hero's journey. What will people say? What will I think of myself? What will my parents say? The biggest, baddest dragon. And like all movies, this is a life or death situation. If you look at the odds, if you look at the paper, chances are you will not make it. That's what makes great stories, right? That's what makes great stories. Unfortunately, in real life, this is where it gets really scary. Kasi there's really potential death and failure, but also potential great success. What's the task when you're in crisis? Is it to survive? The task when you're in crisis is to keep on going. Whenever I meet a successful CEO, I ask them how they do it. Mediocre CEOs point to strategic moves or their intuitive business sense or other self-congratulatory explanations. The great CEOs tend to be consistent in their answers. They all say, "I didn't quit." Every successful founder, according to Ben Horowitz in the book, The Hard Thing About Hard Things, he's a venture capitalist. He's one of the largest venture capitalists now in Silicon Valley. He goes, the great CEOs, they didn't quit. They go through this point that they feel like giving up, hiding under the table. They don't know what the solutions are. He goes, they look for silver bullets, that one big thing that will change everything, but the solutions are lead bullets. Every day, just putting in the work, just don't give up. So in triathlon and in marathons, diba, the one they clap for the most is the one who had the hardest time. The last one who comes in, not the first. The first, yeah, these are the champions, these are the greats. These are the guys who are beyond human. But the one that suffers the most, the one who had to endure the most, yeah, that's the one they clap for the most. And I've seen it here. The one struggling the most, some people go back into the course and they run with that person. And parang, hindi ka nag-iisa. We know how it feels like. And you will get there. The task is not to succeed. It's not to come in first. It's not to better your time. The task is to put one foot in front of the next and not give up. Whether you fail or you succeed, diba? If you succeed, you're a hero, and then often there's a recognition, diba? Because I have gone through the challenges and the crisis, and I have come out on the other side, and this is my gift back to society. So Tony Stark comes back, Moana comes back, Ariel comes back, and the world is healed and problems are solved because of the journey they went through. They come back with a gift, and they say the gift is not the success sometimes. It's the learning, diba? So even in failure, there is that learning, diba? Or as they say in the hero's journey, it's the story. The hero comes back with a story. We can do this. We can go through this and come back on the other side, diba? What's next? Let's do it together. And maybe like Frederick Buckner, you will find at the end of your hero story, you will find this. The place where God calls you is the place where your deepest gladness and the world's hunger meet. That's what we're looking for. That's why passion isn't enough. Passion must have a purpose. Passion must have a purpose. And the purpose is to serve other people who are exactly like you, who have gone through the things you've gone through. Or to solve problems that pain, that hurt you too. I wish things were like this. Things should be this way, but they're not. So what do you do, diba? Who bridges that gap? Who will try? Who will do that impossible, creative thing? Who is that hero, diba? That's it for me, guys. Thank you very much. Hope you got something.